everyone, and thank you for joining us. And just to update some info there, it's actually 38 markets, that eEnd is operating in. So let's start with that exactly. So I mean, eEnd has gone through a transformation since its rebranding in 2022. It's almost silly to call eEnd a telecom company only. It's so much more than that. It's a global tech company expanding with services that it does, and also with its back-to-back acquisitions globally. Can you talk about that transition and where you're looking to expand to globally?
I think technology is a very encompassing industry. It has many things. Telecom is one of them. Telecom is a great enabler for lots of the technologies, and by being a telecom company, we have affinity to many, many customers in the markets we operate. And during the time of COVID, it became very obvious how crucial having that amazing connectivity is. So in our markets, in the UAE, of course, primary, but in all our markets, the infrastructure that we've been building through the years was really able to withstand the demand of people working remotely, studying remotely. And at that time, we were also using that time to think about what's next. At that time, we were a telco company operating in 16 markets. Today, we consider ourselves a technology company. We operate telco operations in 20 markets, but we operate other services in 38 markets. And other services is really part of that transformation, because there are many adjacencies to telecommunications that we can offer to our customers that enables them to do business. So we have changed the structure of the company. We have now eEnd Enterprise, which is a company focused on corporate services, cybersecurity, IoT, cloud services. We have, and of course now this is evolving into AI as well. We have eEnd Life, which focuses on fintech, on entertainment, into super apps, and all the services that we can give to retail customers. And of course, we have the telco looking at the UAE. We have a division that looks at international operations. But also, we have started a VC fund that invests in technologies that are both helpful to our technology industries overall, but also disruptive. So some of the technologies that have the potential to disrupt our industry. So really, we changed how the company is, and also in the geographies where we operate.
And definitely, I want to delve into the different verticals that you're going to with technology. But before that, looking into your global expansion. So you're looking at Europe as well. In addition to different parts of the Middle East. Can you talk about what your future goals are for expansion of eEnd with the not only telecom services, but on the other services that you mentioned as well? And for example, with Europe, like what obstacles you're facing? Like for example, why did it take so long with the PBFs? That you had sought in Eastern Europe?
So we looked at Europe and Eastern Europe overall to create diversification of growth. We already have a very significant footprint in Africa. We have 11 operations in Africa. We have operations in the Middle East, Western Asia. And we thought Europe would be a good diversification that also anchors the stability of the currency, given that most of the operations we have in Europe now are either euro-based or pegged to the euro. So this gives us a bit more consistency in the earnings and profit, and also in the overall regulatory and political stability that we can see there. Of course, going to Europe is very different because the regulations there are very complex, and while Europe is a continent that is supposedly encouraging investment, it's going into these markets is very laborious. You need to talk to telecom regulators, competition regulators, and then that's in the countries, and then you need to also talk on the EU level. And we were the first company through a new process called FSR, Foreign Subsidy Regulation, and this applies to any entity that has over 25% sovereign ownership. So we were subject to that process. It took us a very long time, but I think the great thing is now that we've been through it, we understand how it works, we've passed through it, so it makes further investment in the future in Europe much easier.
Exactly. You have to like pave the way through that by going through the experience. And I want to shift back to what you were saying about the AI side of things. So now you have a new chief AI officer, and it's, as you said, e&, is a global technology company looking for solutions. And I spoke to your CTO last week and talking about how you're preparing for 6G, coming in 2030. And what is your approach to AI? It's a vast, it's a vast thing with many verticals. And one thing I've learned from the telecom sector is that it allows all the generative AI that we're discussing to even be possible. So can you talk about what your approach is with AI in expanding to different verticals and even on the, for example, reaching a wider customer base, which you have done successfully?
So let's first agree that AI is not new to the world. So we've been working with AI applications for years. And we had AI already applied in many parts of our business, in the network management. We had AI applied in customer management, churn prediction, and so on. I think where AI has really come in a different light in the last 2 years is generative AI and the ability of AI to communicate in a much easier ways, both for the developers to work with the AI systems and then how AI can talk to customers in an easy way. And this is where now there's this explosion of AI as people are trying to use AI more with a more advanced, for example, chatbots, where you have voice bots that you're able to do customer service with an almost human experience, but with an AI application. And also the way that you can program things. So in the past, to do an application, it needed very experienced developers. Now there are some of the AI possibilities where you can tell an AI what do you want the application to do, and the AI will design it for you, or program it for you, or debug it for you. So there are lots of things changing very fast, and we are trying to be on top of this. So we're using AI in many of our areas. I mean, be it if you're ordering food from Careem and you get an estimate of how long it will take until your food is delivered, this is now using AI. Our network and maintaining the quality of the network, even if there's a problem in one of the sites, the network self-configures, fixes itself. This is using AI. And also today, when we are looking into the KYC, when you're opening an e&, Money account, which is a wallet which has also different regulations, there's a lot of AI applications that goes into that KYC that can expedite your approval. So all of these things are using AI, and we are developing more. So for example, we have an alliance with SoftBank from Japan, Singtel, South Korea Telecom, and Deutsche Telekom, where we are providing now specific data to teach AI models how to deal with telecom issues. And it's coming up with even more accuracy in dealing with these issues. So AI is going to be an evolving theme. I think we'll be hearing about its impact on business for the coming few years. Definitely. And we're very excited about that. And we're very excited not only for our own use, but how we can help our customers utilize AI to the betterment of their business as well.
Exactly, and I think almost today it's more of an expectation, for AI to provide those services, like you mentioned with Careem, the estimate time. It's a dependence. The volume of it is increasing so much. So it's definitely something where you're preparing already for future needs when almost the demand is now, but the technology is getting there and developing rapidly. And looking now, to the UAE with its goals of becoming a knowledge economy, expanding digital aspect, going through its ongoing digital transformation. Where do you see e&, contributing to that with developing this infrastructure, this ecosystem? For example, with Uber just launched their autonomous vehicles, air taxis, here in the UAE as their first international destination because this infrastructure exists, which is dependent on telecom and communication and all of that. So where do you see e&, even developing that further?
I think we are definitely part of this overall ecosystem. And the UAE, as you said, I mean, the first AI minister in the world was in the UAE, and that was already now more than 7 years ago. So the UE has been going a long way on the AI route. But we have been working on developing a world-class infrastructure. We have the best network in the world. We're number one in the world in terms of the 5G network. We're the fastest and most efficient 5G network in the world. We have the highest fiber penetration in the world. There isn't a single location in the UE, be it residential or business, that is not connected by fiber. And all this is essential for running these applications, because to run a proper AI, you need real-time response of the network. As you said, autonomous cars. Autonomous cars cannot run without an efficient 5G network. Same thing for drones, and we're talking about now drone deliveries and lots of applications. At some point, even drones that will carry people as well. And I think in Abu Dhabi last week, there was the signature for having autonomous passenger transport. And that will not also work without having a really world-class 5G network. So by establishing this, by working with our partnership with, for example, in Khazna to provide data centers, providing connectivity that links all this together, not only our data centers, but all the data centers that are in the nation, we are making sure that we have best in world connectivity, and that really enables all these applications to run efficiently.
Definitely, and I think that speaks to what you said about, when we're talking about generative AI and the new taxing, I would say, on telecom systems and such, it's having this foundation which is allowing all these things to happen, from flying taxis to autonomous vehicles and such. Anything we're talking about, the foundation at the end comes down to the connectivity. Is it there? If it's not, then it's always going to be an obstacle. And in talking about obstacles, of course, there's the impact on energy, because we're talking about, as you know, with generative AI, it uses a lot of energy, a lot of water, and it has an impact on the environment. And I know you have the climate transition plan, and I wanted to discuss with you, as I think it's great that you're looking, in tandem to, as you're developing the technology, but also looking at the impact when it comes to the environment. Can you discuss that a bit about how you're actually doing that? Because I think sometimes it's easy to say, yes, we have a plan, but then when we talk about the strategy around it, then, that's where things get fuzzy. So I'd love to hear your take.
I think that energy is becoming a very key issue, and of course, impact on environment. So we're doing two things. First, what we're doing on our own consumption, on our own network. We were one of the first companies to commit in the UE for Scope 1 and Scope 2 to have zero emissions by 2030. And we are on track to achieve this. We already have reduced our energy in the last 3 years by almost 40%. During COP28, we have demonstrated for the first time in the world a 5G site that's totally autonomous, that's using solar mounted on the tower to be able to run the site. And this was, again, a breakthrough in terms of technology, of green technology for networks. And we have also announced that for our global operations, we are going to be zero carbon by 2040. So we're really working hard at it. But where we also, I think, are adding more is by enabling other industries to improve their energy usage. And we're doing that through our IoT platforms, ability to monitor the emissions coming from different things, and using our cloud services, using AI to improve this. So we're not only thinking of what we do ourselves, but also helping others in their journey towards sustainability.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. I think we're out of time. There's so much more to discuss, but thank you again for your insights, and looking forward to your work in the future.
Thank you very much.